Hi, welcome back. I'm Bill Quinn. I'm again joined by David Cross, owner of U.S. Asset Management and a certified portfolio manager. David, thank you again for being with us.
My pleasure, Bill. Thanks for having me.
So, this is an extension of a conversation we began in a previous video. And during that, you brought up a number of really important, I think, points. Silver has become, on a lot of people's minds. It's had extraordinary moves in past weeks and months. As it becomes more valuable, there is, I guess I'll call it, an increased chance of someone coming across something that might not be authentic. And so there are some steps that folks can take and consider to make sure that whatever investment they're making is, in fact, exactly what they think it is. Could you expand on that a little bit and tell us, how do you go about doing that?
Sure, Bill. Before we get into that, I've got to put a disclaimer up. So if you would pop that up on the screen for a second, I hate to do this. I got to read this off my phone here. We're going to be discussing financial markets and investments. I'll not be making any specific recommendations to you as an individual. My comments are provided as a courtesy and for educational purposes only. Please consult your investment professional, legal, or other advisors for specific information pertaining to your situation. Okay, we got the legal part out of the way. So, over the last several years, I've accumulated a fair amount of physical silver as well as silver that's in my investment accounts. We can talk about how to do investment accounts later, but today's discussion is really going to be centered on on buying like physical pieces of of silver, whether it's bars or coins or whatever. And over the years, I've seen, I hate to say it, I'm seeing fakes that are out there, and they're really convincing. I mean, I myself, I bought I bought a 1 ounce bar a little while back from from a friend of mine. It turned out to be magnetic. That's a big no-no. All right. And he was a good guy. He took it, took it back. And also with regard to even like Morgan dollars and peace dollars, they're showing up out there as fakes, and they look amazing. And even when you weigh them, they weigh properly, and everything looks normal. But there's some low tech ways that are not very costly where you can test this stuff, and then there's some high tech ways, and we're going to cover both of those today. The first thing is going to be the high tech way. So the gold standard is going to be something like this Sigma Metalytics machine, where we can take a look at measuring the electroconductivity of precious metals. This device will measure the electroconductivity of silver, gold, platinum, palladium. It's even got extensions on it where if you want to test a candlestick to see if it's really truly sterling silver, you can do it. So I'm going to switch my camera so we can take a look at this machine and kind of how it works. Okay, so here's the machine, and it unfortunately they're kind of costly. This one was about $1,700, but considering how much silver that I've personally invested in, I look at it like it's an insurance policy. So one of the things that we can do when we test this is it will test whether or not your coin is real. In this case, we have a real U.S. Morgan dollar, and in the green means it's clean. So this one tested out perfectly. And if it doesn't test out perfectly, it's going to slam the meter over into the red area on either side, and it's going to tell you that the machine is reading that is not really silver. All right, so here we'll test a silver eagle. Put this one on here. It's measuring the conductivity, and look at that. It's right in the green zone. That's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. These things are being faked out of China and other places, and they're doing a really good job with it. All right, now I'm going to switch over to a bar. Oops. Okay, so now we'll test a bar. This is a 10-ounce Asahi bar out of Japan. It reads right through the plastic, which is amazing. And again, right in the green means it's clean. So this one's perfect also. So there's a lot of fakes that are out there, and we want to try to avoid those. going to go back to my other camera for you. Okay. So again, that machine is made by this company called Sigma Metalytics. It's not cheap, all right? Like I said, it was 1,700 bucks. But again, I view it as an insurance policy for me. I've got friends that reach out to me from time to time that say, hey, I'm thinking about buying some silver, or recently bought some. Can you test it for me? And, you know, of course, I'll definitely help friends with testing things. All right, so what I just showed you was the high-tech way to do things, and not everybody has $1,700 hanging around so they can test their silver. There are some lower tech ways that you can test it too, and I think it's $3 a month. There's a company called Precious Coin Tester. It's an app on the iPhone store. I think you can also get it on Google, and it pairs up with the device made by this company called Sound Money, and it's a ping test. And what you do is you put your coin in here, clamp it down and hold it, and you ping it. Makes a particular tone. Okay. Okay. So Sound Money has got an app called the Precious Coin Tester that's available on the App Store, and you can pull it up and you can actually put in like what particular coin you're going to be testing. In this case, you're going to be testing a Morgan dollar, and it's really simple. Down at the bottom, they have a little button for check. So I'm going to press the check button. We're going to ping the coin. It's going to read it, and then it will come back and it'll tell you if the coin passed or not. And in this case, it's telling you it passed. Its estimated purity is at least 80%. So low tech, but you know what? It hasn't been wrong for me so far. So that's a great way to do it. The problem with using the ping test is that it doesn't work on bars. It's not going to work on a 5-ounce bar. It's not going to work on a 10-ounce bar. So bars are where you're going to really have to come in and probably find a friend that's got one of these things. Or if you're buying these things at jewelry stores or pawn shops, that kind of thing, the better financed companies that are out there, the more successful ones, they'll probably have the testing machine and they can do the test for you. I have seen some tests that have been done with pointing like this road paint yellow colored testing gun, and that sometimes works. But when you're testing gold, one of the problems with that is that it will sometimes it can't read through the entire bar. And so if somebody has gone to the trouble to create a really fantastic bar and then they're going to electroplate it or put a thin coat of gold on it, it can't read through more than 1 millimeter. So that's a big risk when it comes to bars and coins and being able to test them. Okay. Outside of that, another great thing you can do is, I think for like 20 bucks, you can get a little a scale where you can weigh these things. And I'm going to switch to my other camera. Okay. Using these things is really simple. They come with a 50-gram weight to make sure that it weighs exactly right. And as you can see, this one does. In the case of weighing a silver eagle, they should come in around 31.3. Silver dollar should come in around 26.6. And as you can see, it's really close to that. So those are right on. Let's see, we'll test a little 5-ounce bar. Hopefully it's not going to overload it. 5-ounce bar is coming right at 155.9 ounces, right? Or 155.9 grams. There's 31.1 grams in 1 troy ounce. So you do the math and it works out. And this one's spot on as well too. So that's just another tool that you'll need to have. And again, having silver is not going to be the right thing for everybody. But if you want to participate in owning physical metals that you hold, you have to test it. You've got to do your due diligence. You just can't buy things. It would be incredibly foolish to go out and buy, a 10-ounce bar for $800 right now, and then discover, 6 months or a year from now that it's not real. The fakers that are out there are using a metal called tungsten that is very inexpensive. It is not magnetic, so you can't test it with a with a magnet, and it weighs really close to what silver is supposed to be also. So you just got to be careful. Like any other thing, you've got to use prudence when it comes to investing in anything, and you got to do your homework. And
Yeah.
if you don't have the tools to do your homework, find a friend, that has done this kind of thing before, and learn from them. That's that learning by doing is going to be it's going to be one of the most powerful ways that you can help self-educate yourself and protect yourself.
I've seen recently articles that talk about how folks are, because of the increase in the price of silver, they're actually looking at, and I think you might have referred to it in our last segment, junk silver, which is silver in the form of old coins, coins that would have been in circulation at some point,
Sure.
back when we didn't think about, oh well, gosh, this is 90% silver or better. And what strikes me is that device I think you just showed, the weight scale, can actually help folks even confirm those sorts of coins. Is that right?
Yeah, frequent what you'll see is, so one of these, an old silver dollar, like a Morgan dollar or peace dollar, they're supposed to be like around 26.6 grams. It's not uncommon, for the fakes to come in. I've seen some fakes that are like right on. I mean, I own 3 fakes of these things that are right on the money, but they're slightly thicker. They don't pass the ping test, and I keep them as tools so I can show people what to listen for and how the sound is different. But even if I just show you right now, so I've got silver, and the difference here is that a Morgan dollar that I have preloaded in here is 90% silver, 10% copper, and it kind of rings a little bit like a bell. Hopefully that's coming through clear.
Yep.
Pure silver sounds a little bit different. So this is 100% 999 pure silver. It still resonates, but it's a deeper tone.
Hmm.
And what you'll find is that with the fakes that are out there, they sound wildly different. And particularly for the folks that are musically inclined, they'll pick up on this immediately. But for anybody else, it takes a little bit of practice, but you'll get the hang of it pretty quickly. And again, you can use test it with your ear, or you can use the precious metal tester, or the precious coin tester that's made by Pocket Pinger. They make this thing called, Sound Money makes this thing called the Pocket Pinger, and I'm not getting paid anything to promote them or anything like that. But I've found it to be a useful tool. I mean, it's so good. I mean, I've given several of these things away for Christmas presents to people that I know that are accumulating silver to help protect them.
That's great. That's great. So folks in many cases may be saying to themselves, gosh, this is more involved than I had expected. There's a lot to know here. If they need help, they can reach you, yes?
Yeah, sure. I mean, listen, we don't get paid for helping people, or with or accumulating physical silver or anything like that. I do it as a friend to help people and that kind of thing. We don't make any money off of selling people silver, and we're not in that business. But if somebody comes to me and says, hey, I'd like to test some stuff that I got recently, can you help me out? We will absolutely help be a resource to you. And again, I can't guarantee everything, but I'll tell you what, we've got a lot of tools and resources, and a fair amount of experience, and we can definitely point you in the right direction. And God forbid, if you end up feeling like you've got something that's not really spectacularly good, I can send you to some really reputable jewelers around that have got the same kind of testing devices, and even more sophisticated ones, where they can really help point you in the right direction if you're making a good decision or not.
That's great. And then here's your website and phone number if folks need to reach you for this, or really any financial guidance that they might wish to get from you. Yes.
Yeah, we're primarily financial. We do financial planning, investment management, divorce financial planning. So basically, if it has to do with money, we're going to help point you in the right direction. Our job is to help you make better decisions with your money.
That sounds great. Sounds like a wonderful focus for the firm. David, thank you so much for being with us today. I have a funny suspicion that there's going to be more to learn as we go forward. if these markets, and specifically the silver market, continues making the kinds of moves that we've started seeing. So once again, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Bill.